Guys, it's Fonzie with DipYourCar.com, and join me in taking a deep breath, because it feels really good to finally get an 800-pound gorilla of California off our back. The people of California have felt frustrated and cheated and upset and left out over the past 4 or 5 years, while everybody around them has been enjoying the do-it-yourself benefits of Plasti Dip gallons and changing the color of their car with Dip Your Car products. Finally today, we say, here you go, California. Play along with us. We've got Cali gallons, low VOC gallons that are not only helpful for the people of California, but it's the very first legal gallon for all 50 states of the U.S. California is not the only state, by the way, that has VOC rulings. There are other places in the U.S. where regular PDS isn't legal or compliant. It just doesn't get, to the top of the surface and doesn't get talked about because the entire state of California was left out. Low VOC PDS 50, an amazing product, 2 years of development and testing, and I can finally put it in your hands. This car to the right of me, this beautiful Evo, was dipped with low VOC product and it came out fantastic. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the product, about any differences between that product and PDS, the standard PDS, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of spraying and application and let you enjoy the beautiful end result. Finally, Plasti Dip gallons in California. Enjoy the video. Now let's get a couple things out of the way regarding the low VOC PDS 50. First, from an application point of view, is there any differences in using the PDS 50 versus standard high VOC PDS? The answer is yes. There's 2 things that I want you to keep in mind. The product is a little bit thinner. So what I want you to do is start out with 2 tack coats on the car, meaning 2 light dust coats, about 50% coverage, then come in with your wet coats. That's going to make sure that you don't get any runs or sags because the product doesn't stick or isn't quite as thick as standard PDS. The other thing is that let's talk about colors. Could you imagine how massive of a project it would be to try to replicate all 28 or so PDS colors in low VOC PDS? The amount of resources and capital and the amount of time needed for that would be crazy. So what you're going to do is have the ability to use these low VOC gallons and essentially have an infinite amount of color choices. Now what am I talking about? Of course, the dip pearls. What you're going to see in the low VOC PDS from Dip Your Car is white, black, gunmetal gray, anthracite, and then your clear coat for the top. So with white, black, and gunmetal gray, all of your base coat needs are pretty much handled. You can stack almost any existing dip pearl over one of those 3 bases and get a beautiful, opaque, solid finish. That'll work for your solid pearls, your color shift pearls, pretty much anything out there. Now the clear coat that we have here is only going to be used on top. You're going to use it primarily for your pearl coats. Now you can use it over a solid color. So say you wanted to use the clear coat over black on its own, and you'll get a nice, clean, semi-gloss finish. But where it's really going to shine, the clarity and everything comes together, is obviously to be used for those pearl coats. And now anthracite is one of our top-selling, most popular gallons across the world, so we wanted to include that as well. Throw a couple layers of gunmetal gray down on the car and then come in with anthracite and you've got a beautiful, stealthy, dark gray metallic finish. But the majority of your options here are going to be easily used with your black or white base coat and then coming in with the dip pearls on top. So for this car, that's exactly what we did. We started with a black low VOC base, and then we came in on top with the clear coat low VOC, and we used 50 grams per gallon of the electric blurple dip pearl, and we've got a beautiful end result finish. Now another application technique, and this goes back to the product being just a little bit thinner, is that you're going to want to up your amount of coats. So for a normal car, when you're looking at anywhere between 6 to 8 coats, you want to be in the 8 to 10 range on the low VOC to make sure you have the durability and that real thick, easy peelability any period of time down the road. So for this car, we basically did 6 coats of black and we did 4 coats of the electric blurple right on top. Now something you're going to notice about the low VOC PDS is that because it is a little bit thinner, it's going to level extremely well. Now, one thing that would be a huge problem is if we finally got a low VOC product, but because we had to change a bunch of things around and it's a completely different product at the end of the day, we wanted to make sure there weren't any trade-offs like, oh my God, we got you a low VOC gallon, but it doesn't level as well, but it doesn't peel as well, but it doesn't look as good. We've got low VOC gallons that are not only legal in California, but there are no trade-offs, and honestly, there may be people out there that actually like using the low VOC product a little bit better than standard PDS. It's going to come down to personal preference. You want to have 8 to 10 coats as your final there. Now, one more thing about the product before we get started. You guys have to understand 100% that the product itself is completely different than standard PDS. If it was just as easy as taking standard PDS and making some small changes, this would have been done a long time ago. But the products, the solvents, everything involved is different. Plasti Dip International, the best at what they do, put together a product that makes sure that you as an end user don't have any negative trade-offs, but the materials needed to make this product are more expensive than standard PDS. That's just the way it is. So you're going to see a low VOC PDS gallon that's considerably more expensive than a standard PDS gallon. Where you see standard PDS at $60–65, you're going to see the low VOC PDS at around that $90 to $95 a gallon. Now I'm going to tell you flat out right now, you have two choices if you're in California or one of these low VOC areas. You either get no Plasti Dip gallons, or you get Plasti Dip gallons that are legal for your area that are higher price. There is absolutely nothing good that can come out of either complaining about it, worrying about it, or anything negative at all. If you're in those areas, be grateful that you have such an amazing product to use, because that's how much it costs to make, and there's no other way around it. Now, let's jump in. Let me show you a little bit of the application on this car because it came out sick. Now behind me here is a beautifully dipped electric Blurple Evo in a crisp, clean, pearl satin finish, all done with low VOC, California compliant Plasti Dip gallons. Man, it's been a long time coming and it feels really good to finally say that and get these products in your hand. So let's just summarize for a second. As far as application goes, very similar to standard PDS. Just start with 1 or 2 tack coats to let the product start to build up a little bit, and then follow that with all wet coats. It's going to level and smooth out really well. You want 8 to 10 coats in order to get that long-term durability and peelability that you're looking for. As far as color options, you have almost an infinite amount of color options using the power of the dip pearls. Between the white, gray, and black base coats, stack the dip pearls on top, low pigment load, high pigment load, whatever you want. The variations for your finishes and colors are almost endless. And then of course you have that standard anthracite gray metallic, which is one of, like I said, our best-selling gallons. It's one of our most popular colors of all time. Everything you saw us use today, the low VOC gallons, the sprayer, the accessories, it's all available for you directly at DipYourCar.com. If you have any questions about the dipping process, maybe you're in California and you've been waiting and this is your first time to finally dip a car and you have some questions first, email customer service at DipYourCar.com or call in. There'll be somebody to walk you through the entire process. This has been a massive video for us. Thank you for being patient. This has been a very, very big deal for me to get these products in your hands. It meant a lot to me, and I'm really, really hoping that you guys can enjoy them. It's Fonzie. I'll see you on the next video.